Mount Hope Camp. Was it a ministry that helped women and children? Or is there a much darker truth lurking in the shadows? I rounded up as many survivors as I could in order to get the full, unadulterated story. The following events actually happened and are told from the perspective of the real survivors of Mount Hope Camp.
My name is Elijah Hayden. I was at the camp for more than a decade. I'd say, actually, I think 16 years. Yeah, so definitively 16 years. I was born there, and then my junior year of high school, I left. What brought me to the camp was my mother got pregnant with me at 17, and she had nowhere to go. She was, I think, approached by Christian ministers. They offered her the chance to live there, as well as for me to do my schooling there at no cost for her. And she didn't really have any other options, from what I understand. That's how I ended up there. A lot of what took place there, a lot of people would probably call religious indoctrination. They kind of really wanted us to see things one way, and if we didn't see things that way, there was reprisal. Maybe different privileges might have been taken away. It just wouldn't have been the most comfortable existence if we would have denied what they were trying to teach us. So as far as insight into that, it was a Christian place, a very conservative Christian. They wanted us to be Christians and the best kind.
What's the craziest thing that happened either to you or to someone at the camp?
I tried to run away when I was maybe 13 or 14. I just walked out the door and ran away, left a note, and tried to escape. And they chased me down the road and brought me back. I don't really know if I can speak on the craziest thing that happened there. Some crazy stuff went down. Should I say it? I don't know if I can say that. I saw a few kids get beat, you know what I'm saying, for not adhering to the beliefs, but they had it coming. I think a cigarette. There was a good friend of mine who was we had a situation where we were we were discussing some things that were a little bit lewd, a little crass. The authorities of the institution that we were a part of discovered our activities, and we were all gathered together, and we were interrogated and forced to confess our sins. And when some of us didn't, they were met with, let's just say, brutality. Beaten, humiliated. We were also around a lot of dysfunctional people. There was prostitutes, drug addicts, and all kinds of stuff just wandering. It's a ministry, so the place was actually centered around helping battered women, or women who had just lost control of their lives, re-assimilate into society. So it was drug addicts, like I said, prostitutes, just the undesirables. Yeah, I witnessed many sex crimes. I saw a lot of things that I shouldn't have seen. I was on the bad side of many important and powerful people.
Do you think anything unlawful took place there regarding finances?
Maybe. I can't say I've come across concrete evidence of financial tampering. I think some people made money, others didn't.
Do you think it would cost $700,000 to run the place a year?
Well, you have to think. I don't know if there's property taxes, or because it's a like I said, a religious organization. Also all of the rooms had electric, gas, heating, water.
Oh, electric wouldn't cost that much.
And to think
maybe per month, maybe in the whole year. For electric, water, you're probably looking at at most maybe $150,000. We'll never really know.
Yeah, but there was some evidence that people made a decent amount of money off of it.
Did you experience the demon services?
Yeah, I was telling my friend about that. Like, there's things like that sparsely that, like, I see on social media. It's just weird because we grew up in, like, a place, like, for me personally, like, that was my reality. Like, that's it. I never really thought it was real, but, like, it wasn't necessarily abnormal for me to be around people who believed in, like, casting out demons and just, like, super religious stuff. Which I 100% believe that that's bullshit. Like, all of that stuff is completely just a show meant to, like, I don't know, gain control over people.
So why do you think people were crawling around like snakes?
What the fuck? Nah, because, like, bro, people are crazy, and if you give them an outlet to expose their craziness, seems like
And they feel,
do it.
yeah, they felt like they were getting approval and like from like
they were getting
crawling
approval.
like a snake.
Good
I mean,
job.
I talked to my
That's
mom.
crazy.
I talked to my mom about it, and she said she actually felt like something was coming out of her throat.
Yeah, emotions and thoughts are all lies, dude.
Yeah.
Bro, I've been convinced to myself that I've had a heart attack before. The crazy part was, because of my experience in this traumatic institution, I went to the doctor, and the doctor did an EKG, and they told me I had a heart attack, and then they told me that they misread the EKG. Then I tried to sue. Because I was like sitting there in the doctor's office thinking like, damn, I gotta make some real life changes. It was almost like, you know, I'm in shape. I was like 19, 20 at the time, and they told me I had a heart attack.
Why do you think they tried to cut people off from like their family by not allowing phone calls over a certain amount of time, and they're always supervised, no letters could be written and sent out?
I think people are crazy. I think some people's families were crazy. I would say that, like, certain people definitely needed to get in contact with their family. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe, like, that was wrong. There was things that were very cult-like. I remember traveling in large group, like, when we used to go camping every year, and, like, I was embarrassed, dude. But now I look back and I was like, it was actually pretty cool. Like, it was exhilarating sneaking around the camp. Also, some of the most exhilarating times was, like, I had 2 girlfriends. I used to sneak around with my 2 girlfriends. And then one moved back to California, and I cried for an entire year. I was a different person back then.
Why do you think Mount Hope shut down?
They ran out of money, apparently. I remember when the rumors first came out, like, we were all so happy. Like, oh, it's gonna close, it's gonna close. Things were getting different for us back then, dude.
Do you remember where you were when you heard it was gonna close?
Yeah, I was sitting in class, and there was, like, rumors. Like, David told me because his mom was, like, one of the upper staff of the camp. Just so funny how, like, she started a ministry and then started, like, recruiting people into her inner circle to help disperse propaganda. It was like a small little government. She had, like, leaders and stuff. And so David would come and he would find, like, stuff out early, and he would come to class, and we would talk, Micaiah and all of us. Yeah, they were like, oh, it's gonna close. I was like, no way, bro. Because I thought I was gonna end up graduating there. I had a completely different perspective of life than what I do now. Like, I didn't understand anything about the world. Like, I imagined that, like that's how a lot of people are. I don't know. Like, I just grew up really sheltered, so it was like I wasn't really allowed to see things like in the world. I had to sneak and see things. I just never thought of a world outside of the camp. So when I found out it was closing, like, everything I knew, I saw it through a lens of, like, brother, sister, this, religion was the most important thing. I didn't realize that religion existed outside of the camp, and that people could be, like, super, super religious outside of it. It kind of made you feel like in this bubble was the only thing that was good, and then everything outside of it was chaos, and like, the most important thing was to uphold this religion, and, like, if you abandon it, then, like, you're a horrible person or something. That's kind of like how it made you think.
So it closed because of financial...
Yeah, financial hardship, misuse of funds.
What type of misuses?
I just think maybe they didn't get enough money. Like World Challenge stopped funding them, and they didn't want to risk their retirement, so they closed it down. That's how I see it. Sherry's old now. She's like in her 70s, or she's getting close to Mark is in his 70s. She was like an authoritarian figure.
Yeah.
The dynamic was that she never allowed you to see her as like anything other than like someone who's above you. To bring it all back around is like, I see it as a positive thing. I think anyone who says it's a negative thing is a piece of shit. Yeah, I want beef. I want some rap beef, dude. Like, I mean, some people may have a genuine quarrel or qualm, you know what I mean? Or quagmire. They might have some real cues. But, let's be honest. You were fucked regardless, buddy. You were fucked regardless. And I'm thinking of names. I'm thinking of specific people and individuals who I know, if we reached out to them to speak more on this, they're gonna say, oh, it was bad.
What's your advice for the survivors of Mount Hope Camp?
Stop being pussies. Life is life. We all got the same 24 hours. We're dropped here. Sometimes you gotta live in your car. Sometimes you gotta do shit you don't wanna do, but the opportunity to live and to exist is a great blessing from the Most High. You suffer whether you're good, you suffer whether you're bad, and in the end, everything turns good anyway. So it's all about being good or evil. And so, like, you either serve life or you serve death and destruction. So, like, you're gonna suffer regardless, you fucking idiots. Like, you're suffering now even though you try to make it seem like you're not. I'm talking to myself more than I'm talking to these people, but that's what I wish I would have heard.